Привет, ребята, с вами Андрей. Мы в Ривенделле. Вот, нам эльфы предлагают здесь, в общем, отдохнуть перед началом крутых боев. Чем мы сейчас и займемся. Давайте познакомимся, что здесь есть, с кем можно поговорить, какие получить дополнительные задания и так далее. Ну, в общем, начнем отсюда. Видим впереди девушку. Кто такая? Арвен. Это у нас Аарон. Давайте с ним пообщаемся.
Well met and welcome to the safe haven of Imladris.
Magavanen, Lady Arwen. It is a great honor.
The Dunedain are always welcome here. You have endured great danger and given us urgent warning of a new threat to the north. For this, we honor you, Eridan.
It is my duty as a ranger, nothing more. I am glad to be of service to my Lord Aragorn.
You show the modesty worthy of a hero. Estelle and my brothers have spoken highly of your courage at Fornost, and I thank you for your part in seeing to my brother's safe return. Please, take your ease and rest a while in our halls. You will find all your heart could desire, whether it be food, drink, song or storytelling.
Я думаю, все узнали, да, Арвен? То есть тут, я думаю, узнать и никак не было. Так, кто такой Эстель? Вот вопросик есть.
Estelle.
Estelle?
The name means hope. But who is this Estelle you spoke of?
Forgive me. I forget that not all the Dunedain know of this. Estelle was the name given to your chieftain, Aragorn, as he grew up in Imladris.
Вот оно как. Так, да, еще есть вопросы. Поговорим, почему его называют Эстель.
It is a good name. How did he come to be known as Estelle?
As a ranger, you must know of the practice of bringing the child of a chieftain to Imladris to be fostered. But you may not know how great the danger was at the time. Aragorn was but 2 years of age when his mother, Gilrain, brought him here after his father was slain by an orc arrow, Isildur. Elrond became like a father to him. Knowing the enemy sought ever for a living heir of Isildur, he renamed the boy Estelle to keep his true name and lineage hidden. Aragorn was 20 before Elrond revealed these things to him and gave him tokens of his heritage. But he remains Estelle to me, for he is my heart's hope, even as he is the hope of the Dunedain.
Вот так вот надежду ей дают. Так, вы дружны с Арагорном?
The Dunedain are not given to idle gossip, but I have heard that you pledged yourself to Aragorn. It would be a joyous thing if true.
Long ago, I pledged myself to him beneath the golden boughs of Lothlorien, saying to him, "Dark is the shadow, and yet my heart rejoices, for you, Estelle, shall be among the great, whose valor will destroy it." Yet there is much pain in this choice, for I am Elrond's daughter and half-elven. To cleave to Estelle, I must forsake my immortal life and become mortal, accepting the bitter with the sweet. Even should Imladris endure this war, Elrond will leave Middle-earth, and we will be parted beyond the end of the world. It is the price I must pay to bring love and hope to Estelle, to Aragorn.
Платит она, значит, да? Вот оно. Интересно. Привет, Михаил. Так, Этинский мшанник. Да, вот наше задание. Интересно очень.
Would that I had the leisure to enjoy the peace of Imladris. But Elrond has asked me to scout the Etenmoors. My companions and I must leave as soon as may be.
Then I will not keep you, but we may be of service to one another. I am helping my father brew a potion known as Miraval. One sip of Miraval can renew heart and soul, and bring new vigor to weary limbs. I am in short supply of certain rare ingredients that may be found in the Etenmoors. If I gave you a list of the ingredients, perhaps you could bring any you find while carrying out your mission. With enough ingredients, I will return the favor by brewing an extra flask that you may have for your own use.
Разумеется, само собой. Тут даже можно было бы об этом и не просить. И приказать. Так, конечно, я это сделаю.
Gladly, Lady Arwen. That is a generous offer. Should I find what you require, I will return to you once my mission is complete.
Отлично. Так, у нас новое задание появилось. Ну что ж, круто. Давайте посмотрим. Дополнительное задание Миру Вор. Ух ты, а немало всего надо найти-то. Так, найти нужные ингредиенты. Цветок Мирилотан 5 штук, кристаллы Гелевора 2 штуки, горный мед 1. Арвин попросил вас собрать на этнинском шайнике кое-какие ингредиенты для Миру Вора, драгоценного эльфийского напитка. Обязательно это задание выполним. Так, давайте дальше побегаем, посмотрим. Здесь у нас выход с миссии. Нет, погодите. Мы еще не до конца. Ну, даже не то чтобы до конца, мы только начали знакомиться с вот этими красивейшими пейзажами эльфийского обалденного места. Ну ладно. Так, тут у нас есть все друзья. Давайте поговорим со всеми. Так, тут мы видим нашего эльфа. Думаю, его также все знают прекрасно по фильмам. Это у нас Леголас. Ну как же без него?
Pardon my curiosity, but you don't appear to be one of Elrond's people.
No, I am one of the woodland folk of Mirkwood. My name is Legolas Greenleaf, the son of Thranduil, king of the woodland realm. But I too am curious. You don't appear to be one of the men of Dale, nor one of the Beornings.
I'm Eridan, one of the Rangers of the North, the Dunedain.
Ah, one of those who follow Aragorn, son of Arathorn.
Прекрасно. Так, Темнолесье.
Tell me about Mirkwood.
Mirkwood is the greatest woodland in all of Middle-earth. It was called Greenwood the Great, before the shadow of Sauron fell over it. In ages past, it was a place of great beauty. But now, it is filled with darkness and dread, save only in the north where my father's realm is maintained.
Так, ясно. Что вас сюда привело?
What brought you on such a long and perilous journey?
Unpleasant business. My father sent me to report the escape of Gollum, a creature Aragorn had entrusted to our care.
Голум?
What can you tell me about this Gollum?
A pathetic creature who long held the Ring of Power. The evil of the ring has left him twisted and tormented. His only thought is to recover what was taken from him.
Ну, я думаю, все прекрасно смотрели фильм «Хоббит». Так, как он бежал?
How did Gollum manage to escape your guard?
Not from a lack of watchfulness, but perhaps from too much kindness. We occasionally allowed Gollum to go about the wood under close guard. But on one of these ventures, the guards were attacked by orcs from Dol Guldur. In the confusion, Gollum escaped. We followed his tracks southward for many leagues, until it drew near to Dol Guldur. There, it became too dangerous to pursue him any further.
Дол Голдур.
What is this place, Dol Guldur?
A stronghold of the enemy in the south of Mirkwood. It was once the dwelling of the Dark Lord, until he was driven out in the year of the Dragon's Fall. But it has once again become a place of great evil. All the darkness that besets Mirkwood has its source in Dol Guldur.
Ну что ж, круто, может мы и там побываем. Так, вы скоро возвращаетесь домой?
Will you be departing for your home soon?
No, I have been chosen to represent Elvenkind among the Company of the Ring. I will be accompanying the halfling, Frodo Baggins, on his journey south.
Класс. А почему вы?
It seems strange that with so many elves in his own household to consider, Elrond chose to make you a member of the Fellowship.
I asked for the privilege, and Elrond did not refuse me. I feel he may have been relieved not to lose any of his household to this quest. He will have need of all his strength, should the enemy move against Imladris.
Отлично. Почему вы вызвались?
I am curious why you would volunteer for this.
Partially to make amends for the loss of Gollum, but more so because this will be the final chapter in our long struggle against the darkness. And I wish to have a hand in our final victory. Or at least, to stand in the forefront of our last act of defiance.
Прекрасно, прекрасно. Удачи вам.
May fortune favor your fellowship in the days ahead, Legolas.
Так, ну поговорили мы с Леголасом. Задание он нам как-то никаких не дал, хотя хотелось бы что-нибудь для него выполнить. Ну да ладно. Так, давайте еще посмотрим, кто здесь есть. Это, по-моему, кузнец. Ангмир. Хотя не факт.
Welcome, Eridan. I suspected you would find your way here before long.
Так. Да, ремонт. Вот моя находка, прощайте. Это у нас надо задание. Так, нет, сначала с ним поговорим. Что это вы делаете?
What task are you working at now?
My fellow smiths and I are preparing for a great work. Soon we will be called upon to reforge the legendary sword Narsil. In the meantime, I've been sharpening my skills by practicing the art of imbuing gemstones.
Угу, круто. Нарсиль. В общем, да, это кузнец.
What can you tell me of this sword, Narsil?
Narsil was the sword of Elendil, a mighty lord of the Dunedain who defied the Dark Lord in the War of the Lost Alliance. He bore the sword in battle against Sauron, but he was slain and the sword was broken. Since that time, the shards of the sword have been an heirloom of the House of Elendil. It was to remain broken until the day when an heir of Elendil would go to war to reclaim the crown and title of king. That day will come soon, and the sword must be made whole once again.
Отлично. Зачарование камней. Вот это вот интересно.
What do you mean by imbuing?
Simply that certain objects have inherent virtues, and a skilled artisan can, through his craft, increase those virtues and bind them to an object for advantage. Gemstones are very strong vessels for this process. Sadly, appropriate gemstones have become difficult to find. The growing trouble throughout the land keeps travelers away, and our own people are staying closer to home.
Угу. Так, чем я могу помочь?
Perhaps I can help you with that. I will be traveling soon.
I would be pleased to have your help. I will provide you with a list of the types of gemstones that are of the greatest value to me. If you collect the stones, I am certain I could create something that you would find useful. But to be of use, the gemstones must be of the highest quality. Fortunately, we have as a guest a dwarf of the Lonely Mountain. Glóin is his name, and he is skilled in the appraisal of gems of all sorts. Once you have gathered the stones, allow him to examine them. He'll know if they are suitable.
О, как, да? Так, отлично. Значит, задание нам дали, ребят. Дальше. Вот тут еще мне нужен ремонт. Насчет вот ремонта я не уверен. А вот моя находка. Это у нас задание.
I have gathered a few artifacts of interest on my travels. I believe you might be able to help me with them.
Ah, these are work of Westernese, the lost land of Numenor. The men who forged these items were skilled indeed. You have the makings of a unique weapon here. Although these components were never part of a single work, I believe you have assembled everything I would need to make it so. The finished weapon would undoubtedly carry some elven qualities.
What do you mean by that?
Only that with a work such as this, the finished product is liable to reflect the nature of the smith who assembles it. If, for example, a dwarven smith were to complete this weapon, it might possess quite different qualities from the weapon I would create.
Смотрите, то есть гном, ну, в общем, понятно. Каждый сделает свои свойства, да? Если работу проделал гноми кузнец. Так, я пока, пожалуй, подожду, да, попозже.
I would like to see what a dwarven smith might do with this task. Perhaps I shall wait.
As you wish. I will help you, should you change your mind.
Знать бы просто, чем эльфы. Видите, я не знаю даже... Ну, я с гномом сначала поговорю, а там что еще. Так, потому что... Ну, хотелось бы сделать, если уж вещички, то крутые, так крутые. Так, да, давайте-ка мы свои вещи... стоп, починим, которые нам нужно починить. Да, потому что скоро в бой. Ну, почти скоро еще с эльфами здесь, я думаю, немало будем общаться. Но починка нам нужна. В прошлый раз меня нагибали чутка. Так. Здесь все нормально. Колечки. Так, штаны. Так, есть. И тапки. Так, ну что, прекрасно. Он нам задание дал эльфийские камни найти. Так, вот это вот интересно. Так, дополнительное задание. Эльфийские камни. Зеленые бриллианты 4, золотистые бриллианты 3, красные бриллианты 2. Ангмир, ривендельский кузнец, попросил вас принести ему отборных самоцветов, материала для изготовления волшебных эльфийских камней. Так, прекрасно, да. Ну, я думаю, мы к эльфам еще вернемся не раз. Так, давайте дальше знакомиться, что у нас кто-то еще есть. Так, тут фонтанчик крутой довольно. Так, значит, для глаз. Секундочку, там вот кто-то у нас справа. О, здесь-то еще немало. Так, да, давайте сначала справа побегаем. Драться, разумеется, я также в этой местности не могу. О, Бильбо! Ха-ха. Крутяк. Так, Бильбо тут. Ну-ка, Бильбо, что ты нам расскажешь интересного? Ой, что не могу к ним подойти. А, вот есть. Бильбо Бэггинс. Поход туда и обратно.
Hello, you are one of the Dunedain, are you not? Please allow me to introduce myself. Bilbo Baggins at your service.
Eradan, at yours.
Always happy to meet one of the Guardians of the North. I've heard about what you and your friends did to help my Frodo and the Dunedain reach Rivendell safely. You'll have to tell me all about it one of these days so I can write it all down properly.
Ну, смотрите, друзья, для 2011 года довольно-таки неплохо все прорисовано. Так, ну давайте с ним сначала поговорим. Расскажите о Фродо. Привет, Максим.
Tell me about Frodo. Is he your son?
Oh no, he's not my son. Actually, he's my first cousin once removed. And also my second cousin once removed. Well, it's complicated, but we share a great-grandfather. The poor lad was orphaned at an early age, and so I adopted him. Made him my heir, all nice and legal, while simultaneously dashing the greedy hopes of my odious relations, the Sackville Baggins. He's a good lad, Frodo. I only wish he hadn't inherited my troubles along with my estate. I hope that Gandalf and the Dunedain will keep him safe in the days ahead.
Интересно. Так, Дунадан.
The Dunedain. In the Elvish, that signifies man of the West. One of my people.
Yes, indeed, but when I say it, I mean Aragorn, of course. The Dunedain, he is often called here. A remarkable man, Aragorn, and a good friend. I almost wish that I could accompany him on his grand quest, but I'm far too old for adventures now. I only hope I will be spared long enough to write it all down.
Хватит тебе сил. Так, расскажите о кольце.
Can you tell me how Frodo came to be in possession of the Ring of Power?
Well, yes, that was through me, I'm afraid. I found the ring by happenstance while lost beneath the roots of the Misty Mountains. I won it, that is to say, I took it from the creature Gollum. Of course, I did not know the full story of the ring until only a few days ago. I thought it was merely a magical bauble with the power to make the wearer invisible. I only used it to avoid unwelcome visitors. Imagine that old ring of mine causing such a fuss. I would gladly take charge of it again if that would help. Oh yes, gladly. Yes. You know, I think it would be best if we discussed something else.
Вздыхает, да, не хочете времена. Ну, круто, круто. Вот здесь, конечно, если кто фильм, ну, любит серию фильмов, ну, я думаю, это круто. Так, вы теперь живете в Ривенделле.
Now you call Rivendell your home?
Well, the Shire will always be my home, I suppose. But this is the perfect place for so many things that I'm more than content to remain here. My days are mostly filled with my writing now.
А о чем вы пишете?
What is it you write?
Oh, a little of this and a little of that. History, my past adventures, family trees. I've even begun a book of translations from the Elvish. Although lately I've been working on poetry mostly. Say, maybe you could help me with that. I'm writing a poem for Aragorn, and I'm a bit stuck on a line or two.
Угу, отлично. Так, ну да, прочитайте.
Is that so? Well then, let me hear what you have.
Very well, very well. The verse that's giving me trouble runs like this. The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled.
Ага, то есть нам нужно выбрать, да? Да уж. Весть из Имладриса всем народам. Западный светоч пылает снова. Потомок древнего рода. Станет потомок древнего рода. Он ловко машет мечом здоровым. Он победит властелина злого. Где нам такого найти второго? И сломанный меч будет вновь откован. Так. Ну, мне тут как-то верхний вариант не очень нравится. Он ловко машет мечом здоровым. Ну, хотя хороший. И он победит властелина злого. И сломанный меч будет вновь откован. Никак не придумаю последнюю строчку. Весть из Имладриса всем народам. Западный светоч пылает снова. патроном древнего рода, он победит властелина злого.
The light from the west is rekindled. Forth from Imladris it springs. Renewed is the hope that has dwindled to do all sorts of good things.
Ah, yes. Well, poetry's not for everyone, is it? Perhaps you could show this to the Lady Arwen. She has her people's gift with words, and this touches her deeply after all.
А, неправильно, да? Ну или что-то типа того, понятно. В общем, как в начале, помните, у нас мальчик там в таверне был, тоже голову дал поломать, пошутил над нами. Так, Арвен.
Arwen? Who is she?
Why, she's Elrond's daughter, of course, and Aragorn's beloved as well. Although you didn't hear that from me, she's a sweet lady, and I'm sure she'd be willing to give me a hand with this.
А, ну да, совершенно верно, мы же с ней уже разговаривали. Так, я покажу ей стихи.
I will take it to her.
Ah, thanks very much. Be sure to give her my compliments, won't you?
Непременно.
I will indeed. Farewell now.
Так, не очень у нас это здорово получилось. Так, новое задание стихоплет. Так, ну да, стихи это всегда. Так, где оно у нас? Вот оно. Бильбо нужна помощь с новым стихотворением. Он просит отнести стихи к госпоже Арвен и спросить ее мнение. Кстати, а я другую строчку выбирал насчет то, что он ответил почему-то голова, а я ответил, что он будет снова в войну. Ну, интересно. Так, да, давайте вернемся к госпоже Арвен. У нас, благо, здесь недалеко. Сразу квест этот завершим, если это будет возможно.
My Govanen, Eridan, it is good of you to visit me again. My thoughts stray often to Estelle and my brothers, but also to you and your companions. I continue to brew Miraval, but I am concerned about our dwindling stocks. We still have need of those ingredients I spoke of before.
Будут вам ингредиенты. Так, погодите. Вот, тут куча вопросов новых появилось. Так, что вы думаете о Бильбо?
I have watched hobbits from their borders, but seldom spoken with them. Is Bilbo typical of his kind?
I had once thought Bilbo unique, but now that I have met Frodo, I say that elves know less of hobbits than we think. They have a strength within that is far greater than their stature. How many of us, thinking ourselves strong, could have borne the ring as long as Bilbo did, without being turned to evil? It sustained him, so that he is now very old amongst his kind, but it did not stain him, nor has it lessened his love of poetry and song. Dear old Bilbo, I believe there is nothing he loves more, except a good meal. In that, he remains a true hobbit.
Действительно, истинный хоббит. Так, он послал это вам.
I have an errand I must not forget. Here is an unfinished poem from Bilbo. He asked for your opinion and advice, saying the subject is very close to your heart.
Then it must be about Estelle. He is fond of writing verses in honor of his good friend, and therefore often comes to me for advice. You may leave it with me, Eridan. I will give it some thought and answer it myself.
Thank you, lady. Perhaps the time will come when I can enjoy these gentle arts, but that time is not today. I must take my leave, lady. Namarie.
Да, уже задание выполнено, стихоплет. Ну, в общем, ясно. То есть я-то думал, здесь каким будет заковыристые штучки, а нам просто дали задание. Ну, то есть выполнено. А вообще за это мы что-нибудь получили? Нет, просто выполнено и все. Так, ну могли бы хоть и опыта дать, что ли? Так, ну-ка, Бильбо, вернемся. Быстро же она над ним пораздумала. Это экшен РПГ у нас.
Greetings! I hope the Lady Arwen will have some good suggestions for my verse. I'm really most eager to finish the thing.
Так. Это мы с ним уже все узнавали. Так, вот об Арагорне. Интересно. Расскажите об Арагорне.
Do you know Aragorn well?
Oh, yes. I first met Aragorn, let's see, well, it must be more than 15 years ago now. His adventures keep him away from Ривенделл far too much for my liking, but he's my chief source of news whenever he does return. A remarkable man, Aragorn, and a good friend. I almost wish that I could accompany him on his grand quest, but I'm far too old for adventures now. I only hope I will be spared long enough to write it all down.
Так. А если еще раз спросить ради интереса о Фродо?
Tell me about Frodo. Is he your son?
Oh no, he's not my son. Actually, he's my first cousin once removed. And also my second cousin once removed. Well, it's complicated, but we share a great-grandfather. The poor lad was orphaned at an early age, and so I adopted him. Made him my heir, all nice and legal, while simultaneously dashing the greedy hopes of my odious relations, the Sackville Baggins. He's a good lad, Frodo. I only wish he hadn't inherited my troubles along with my estate. I hope that Gandalf and the Dunedain will keep him safe in the days ahead.
А, смотрите, после задания, ребята, у нас диалог поменялся. Ага. Так, расскажите о кольце тогда, ну-ка.
Can you tell me how Frodo came to be in possession of the Ring of Power?
Well, yes, that was through me, I'm afraid. I found the ring by happenstance while lost beneath the roots of the Misty Mountains. I won it, that is to say, I took it from the creature Gollum. Of course, I did not know the full story of the ring until only a few days ago. I thought it was merely
А, вот это мы уже видели, да. Да, это мы уже слышали. Так, все, не буду вам мешать. Рад вас был видеть.
You have a poem to write, and I have a task before me as well. Goodbye for now, Mr. Baggins.
Мистер Бильбо Бэггинс. Так, ну что ж, дальше. Смотрите-то, ух, какая локация. А, ой, да, немало мы с вами здесь времени проведем. Так, кто у нас здесь? Глоин. Да уж, там еще у нас кто-то. Так, давайте сначала, наверное, может быть, с Элуары поговорим. Наверное, без разницы, да? Ну, давайте начнем.
Welcome, Dunedain. Welcome to Imladris. Are you in need of anything to help you in your travels? I have many things in my keeping that might serve you well.
О, так, это у нас типа торговец, да? Ну-ка, давайте-ка сначала с ней поговорим. Кто вы?
Thank you for your welcoming words, but I do not believe I've had the pleasure.
No, indeed. I am Alare, one of Master Elrond's stewards. I help to manage the needs of his household, including arms and armor. I suspect you might have need of such things.
Понятно. Так, расскажите об Элронде. Ну-ка. Да, я никак не могу нацелить. О.
What can you tell me about Elrond?
To tell you everything I know of Master Elrond would take many days. Let it suffice to say that he is an elven lord of great and noble lineage, ancient beyond mortal reckoning, and wise beyond measure. None are more skilled as a healer, or more versed in the lore of ages past.
В Ривенделле безопасно?
Your home seems so serene. I assume it is kept so by strength of arms.
This is a place of learning and peace, not a fortress or camp of war. But there are those here who wield great power, especially the Lord Elrond. Yet even he does not have the strength to overthrow the Dark Lord, or to resist him if he comes against us with great strength.
В общем, все боятся темного властелина. Так. Надеюсь, это предотвратить.
I will do my best to see that day never comes.
Nobly spoken. I am told you have done great deeds on behalf of all free folk, and I am certain you will accomplish greater things still. But if you plan to contend with the enemy, you must be well prepared. Perhaps you should examine the stores we have on hand.
Ваше хранилище? Ух ты ж. Так, кто тут живет?
What sort of folk dwell here in Ривенделл?
Elves, for the most part. My people have dwelt in Imladris for a very long time indeed. But there are other folk to be found here as well. Elrond welcomes all people of goodwill. The Dunedain come often, your own folk come occasionally. We are even home to one special hobbit.
А, Бильбо, что ли, вопрос? Что это за хоббит?
Who is this hobbit you speak of?
Bilbo the Magnificent, greatest of the Shire folk. The same hobbit who overthrew the dragon Smaug, although these days he is more interested in poetry than adventure. And food and drink, of course. Keeping a hobbit well fed is enough to keep several stewards busy.
Да, действительно. Ну, в общем, да, это было прогнозируемо. Так, покажите, да, посмотрим, что у нее есть. Так, ух ты ж, да, серьезное заявление, недешево все, 2000. Так, ну-ка, это сколько стоит? 2000. Так, ладно, мне советовали все в бою находить, не покупать, но Иногда, может, я думаю, приобрету. Так, насчет продажи. Да, давайте-ка мы тут продадим то, что нам не нужно. Так, так, 26, 23, 3 выносливость. Нет, это лучше для меня. Так, здесь ничего, да. О, я могу... Так, стой, 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 стой. Амулет, амулет. Так, вот эти вот штучки. 15 урон, да, оставляем. Здесь... О, ох, сколько мечей. Так. Самое главное, вот эту двуручку не продать, да. Гвардейский двуручный меч, крутая тема, но пока им пользоваться не буду, а остальное все продаем. Это место, конечно, у нас и так подзабито. Так, двуручку оставим. Кольца пока все нужны, и здесь у нас все. Так, амулет надо одеть, точно. Ну что ж, спасибо. Побежали дальше. Так, давайте амулетик сразу оденем. Новенький. Да, воля у нас уже 19, это отлично. Так, амулетик. На этом плюс 1 воля, а здесь 1 ловкость и оглушение при ударах 6%. Да, неплохо. Неплохо, наконец-то мы это прокачали дело. Так, Салуары, я надеюсь, все. Так, ну да. Спасибо вам за разговоры. Так, дальше у нас здесь стоит... Ох, сколько много персонажей. Так, Глоин. Ну-ка.
Well, my friend, it's an honor to make the acquaintance of one of Farin's valiant companions. I'm Glóin, son of Groin from the Lonely Mountain.
And one of Bilbo's companions in the quest to slay the dragon Smaug. It's an honor to meet such a famous dwarf. I'm Eredon of the Dunedain.
I heard about that business at Sarn Ford, and they say that 3 of you brought down an orc chieftain at Fornost. I expect I'll be hearing of even greater deeds before long. It does my heart good to see a dwarf, an elf, and a man working together again. Reminds me of the old days, it does, when the 3 kindred fought alongside one another in the Battle of the 5 Armies.
Он частенько усмехается. Так, ну что ж, да, давайте с ним поговорим. Прежние времена.
Then you approve of Farin's alliance with Andriel and me?
I will speak plainly. I may be less than fond of King Thranduil's wood elves for keeping me in their dungeons, but I've no grudge with any of Elrond's folk.
Yet in the Battle of the 5 Armies, it was Thranduil's elves who died alongside men and dwarves in battle.
You're right, of course. I can be a stiff-necked old dwarf, but it's time to set aside grievances that were long ago repaid. When dwarves, men, and elves fought together at Erebor, we overcame legions of foes. But we face a far more terrible enemy in the Dark Lord. Standing together against Agandaur may be more than just a good idea. It may be our only hope to save the North.
Может быть, может быть. Так, не забудьте об орлах. Да, точно.
We must not forget the great eagles. They have been a great help to us, just as they were to you and your companions.
Well spoken. Thorin's quest and the Battle of 5 Armies would have met disaster without the help of the eagles. You're fortunate to have gained the friendship of such noble creatures. Your life may well depend upon your choice of friends. Whatever kindred they be.
Это может помочь Фродо.
Sauron's attention will be focused largely on the south. Perhaps if we thwart his plans here, it will distract him. That could benefit Frodo and the Fellowship on their quest.
That's my thoughts upon the matter too. Be the stinging fly in the ointment, as it were. Only this fly's sting will be deadly. And it's time to be about your business. Goodbye. And good luck to you.
Вернемся. Так, ну что ж, видим, да, то есть получается игра проходит во времена того, когда пока там Фродо все идут по горам и так далее, да, идет типа фильм, как в книге, а мы исследуем другую историю, находясь, что было до этого, помогаем. Так, поговорить с Фродо, да, вот у нас Фродо. Давайте-ка с ним поболтаем, что он нам расскажет там о колечке.
Hello. You are Aradan, aren't you? I was hoping I would get a chance to speak with you.
And you are Frodo Baggins. Aragorn and Gandalf have told me about you. And your burden.
Likewise, they have told me all about you. I wanted to thank you and your friends for all you did to keep us safe on our journey to Ривенделл.
Расскажите о своем пути.
Will you tell me about your journey here? Clearly, it was not an easy one.
We had trouble almost from the start. The Black Riders were always just behind us, and we nearly met disaster in the Burrow Downs, at Bree, and again at Weathertop.
Под конец Ветровая гора, думаю, все ее прекрасно помните. Так, могильники.
You entered the Burrow Downs? If you escaped from there, you are made of sterner stuff than I'd imagined. That is no place to go wandering.
You seem to know a great deal about the Burrow Downs already. I'd prefer not to speak about what we found there. It is too horrible to dwell on, even here in the safety of Ривенделл.
Бровар.
What befell you in Bree? We must have just missed crossing paths there.
There were spies in Bree, and our room was attacked in the night. If Strider hadn't convinced us to sleep elsewhere, our journey would have ended then and there.
Значит, наш поход бы там и окончился. Ветровая гора.
I am familiar with the ruin known as Weathertop. What happened there?
We were attacked by 5 of the Black Riders. I was foolish, and I put on the ring. One of them wounded me before Aragorn managed to drive them away. The knife that was used against me left a shard in the wound. From what Gandalf has told me, the fragment was working its way inward. If it had reached my heart, I would have become a wraith under the power of the Black Riders. Fortunately, we were able to reach Ривенделл in time for Elrond's healing arts to save me.
Да уж. Ужасные участи. Покажите мне кольцо. Покажет? Нет, интересно.
It is a little thing, this ring, but filled with mischief. Will you show it to me?
No, I mean, I'm sorry, but Gandalf and Elrond have warned me against revealing the ring to anyone, even proven friends. I hope you understand.
Ага, о, какая реакция. Но это нормальное влияние, такая же реакция была и в фильме. Так, конечно, прошу прощения.
Yes, I believe I do begin to understand. It was wrong of me to ask. Forgive me.
There is nothing to forgive. But the ring, it has a strange effect on everyone around it. It is better for it to remain hidden.
Надеюсь, это никак не скажется мне во время игры. Так, вот этот диалог. Так, доброго пути.
It is indeed a heavy burden you bear, Frodo. May you find strength and wisdom on the long road ahead. Farewell.
То есть, смотрите, получается, Фродо у нас... О, друг хранителя. Ух ты, что достижение дали за то, что мы с ним поговорили. То есть, получается, они еще не отправились сюда, да?
Hello again. This stay in Ривенделл has done wonders for me. I almost feel like my old self.
Так, может быть, еще что расскажет?
Will you tell me about your journey here? Clearly, it was not an easy one.
We had trouble almost from the start.
А, да, то же самое
The
все.
Black Riders were always just
Все ясно.
behind us.
Ну ладно,
And we nearly...
мир полон
Anyone
опасности.
who travels far in the wild is certain to find peril. These are dangerous times.
I've learned that only too well. I had hoped the danger would end once I reached Ривенделл, but it seems as if it is just beginning. I hope I can find the courage to face the road ahead.
Сможете, сможете. Так, ну все, уходим. Сможете.
I have a strong feeling you will. In the meantime, you should rest and recover your strength.
Смотрите, игра всем дала отдохнуть, пообщаться, да. Ну, в этой серии, ребят, мы будем с вами разговаривать. Так, ну что ж, приятно, да, поговорили с Фродо, дали достижение. Это круто. Так, что тут еще есть интересненького? Давайте смотреть. В принципе, я думаю... Опа! Вон они, наши эльфы стоят, которые в бою были. Ну, как же красиво. А я вот когда читаю титры, смотрю диалоги, я еще обращаю внимание на вот эти все декорации. Это круто. Так, эльфы, что вы нам расскажете? Ну-ка, поговорим. Элладан. Тут, наверное, только с одним можно, да, разговаривать? Да, Элладан. Ну, понятно, ладно, говорим.
The sun shines and all is fair and peaceful here in Imladris. A far cry from the blood and dust of Fornost, is it not? You and your companions did very well there. Indeed, things might have gone badly for us had you not been there. You have earned some time to recover from the toils of battle and hard travel. And I believe you will find no place better for the restoration of body and spirit than this, our home.
Да уж, спасибо. Думаю, на наш век еще хватит войны. Так, давайте сначала спросим, что здесь, что привело вас в Форност. Я раньше читал Форпост, извиняюсь, да, оказывается, Форност. Я уже записи пересмотрел когда. Так, расскажите о своей семье. Ну, давайте начнем. Что привело вас в Форност?
How was it you happened to be at Fornost?
We often ride far afield hunting the orcs, wherever we may find them. We came upon signs of a large band of goblins making their way from the orc hold of Mount Gram and followed their trail to Fornost, where we lost no time in attacking them.
Поредеем. Так, вы часто странствуете с Арагорном?
Aragorn frequently travels and fights beside you, does he not?
Yes, we often venture forth in company with the Dunedain, and none more frequently than Aragorn. He was raised here in our household, after all.
Так, отлично. Почему он рос здесь?
How is it that a man came to be raised here among elves?
It is a tradition for the heirs of Isildur to be fostered in the House of Elrond. We have sheltered all the chieftains of the Dunedain from the time the Northern Kingdom ceased to be down to this present day. Aragorn is the 16th in line from father to son to spend his early years in Imladris. This is one reason why the bond between our two peoples is so strong.
Да уж. Расскажите о своей семье.
Will you tell me more about your family? I know Elrond is your father.
Yes, it was he who established the refuge of Imladris. My brother and I have dwelt here all our lives. Our sister Arwen dwells here as well, although she has spent many years in the company of our grandmother.
А ваша матушка?
What of your mother? Does she dwell here also?
Our mother has crossed the sea and left Middle-earth. It is a bitter tale to tell. Many years passed. On a journey across the Misty Mountains, our mother was captured by orcs. We searched the mountains without rest until we found her at last. Our father was able to heal her injuries, but the memory of her torment was too terrible for her to bear. At last she chose to depart for the Undying Lands. Perhaps now you understand why our hatred for the orcs is so great.
Да уж, действительно, простите.
That is a sad tale. I am sorry to have reminded you.
No, my friend. We have drawn swords together in the same cause. You have earned our trust. We do not wish to keep anything hidden from you. This is the evil that we have pledged our lives to destroy, just as you have.
Да уж, действительно. Так, у них тут еще куча вопросов было, они почему-то исчезли. Что я могу тут найти?
I may be in need of a few things before we set out. Is there anyone I can speak to about that?
If it is provisions or other supplies you need, you should speak with Alari. And if your arms and armor need tending, seek out Angmir. Both of them may be found nearby.
Ага. Так, а гном? Прощайте, доброй дороги. Так, ну давайте, доброй дороги.
I wish you luck. Goodbye.
Там еще какой-то один вопрос был. Куда он пропал?
The sun shines and all is fair and peaceful here in Imladris. A far cry from the blood and dust of Fornost, is it not? You and your companions did very well there. Indeed, things might have gone badly for us had you not been there. You have earned some time to recover from the toils of battle and hard travel. And I believe you will find no place better for the restoration of body and spirit than this, our home.
Так. Во. Да. Это вот мы спрашивали. Во, какие у вас планы? Что я могу тут найти? Во, какие у вас планы? Вот вопрос пропустил.
It is pleasant, but I shall not stay long. I have promised to scout the Edenmoors for signs of the enemy. But what of you? I cannot believe the two of you will remain idle for any length of time.
No, indeed. We are to set off at once on a similar mission to your own. Only we will travel south, seeking for signs of the Nazgul or other threats. Aragorn will accompany us at least part of the way.
Ну все, ясно. Все, доброй дороги.
I wish you luck. Goodbye.
Так, ясненько. Так, что тут еще у нас интересненького есть? Все-таки я думаю, пока, в общем, все это дело я слушал, наверное, я доверю делать оружие эльфу. Гном, скорее всего, сделает двуручку, может, я не знаю этого, но мне кажется, эльф сделает прекрасный меч, или доспехи блестящие, которые мне очень нужны, вот. А гном сделает что-то на силу, по-любому. Так, все ясно, короче, здесь побывали. Так, что наш там гномик застрял? Так, и еще у нас есть, у нас же где-то еще перед главными герои-то, да. Вот здесь мы игру в прошлый раз закончили, это у нас Гендальф. Когда вышел и зашел в игру, оказался там. Так, Гендальф, главный, красота. Так, ладно, давайте с Гендальфом поговорим. Сейчас он нам тут, наверное, на полчаса истории. Это очень интересно.
Ah, Eridan, it is good of you to seek me out. You've grown into a fine man of the Dunedain. Your recent deeds of valor have proven your worth.
И еще как бы получается, если играть ну, за наш или за гнома, или за магичку, будут другие маленько диалоги. Так, значит, знаете, левое диалоговое окно сначала, а потом, если что, Итинский мшаник и Агандаур. Так, начнем. Зачем врагу север?
The Dunedain kingdom of Arnor fell long ago. There's nothing left in much of the north save ruins. Why would Sauron build a force here?
Sauron seeks dominion over all of Middle-earth. His desire is to order all things as he sees fit. Even were these lands empty from here to the sea, still he would seek to control them. There is power in Ривенделл that could stand against him when all others fall. For a time. And this is something Sauron cannot allow.
Да уж, действительно. Шир в опасности.
For years I've patrolled the Shire at Aragorn's orders. I worry it may not be safe for me to abandon that duty.
Aragorn knows where you are most needed, Eridan. With the flight of the ring in this direction, the enemy is looking this way and has forgotten the Shire for now. For now. But eventually his eye will turn once again toward the Shire, as humble as it is. Hobbits as miserable slaves would please him far more than hobbits happy and free. And there is such a thing as malice and revenge. Sauron will leave the final devastation of the Shire to his servant Agandaur. And that is yet another reason why you must find him and put an end to his designs. In opposing Agandaur, you are defending the Shire.
Да, действительно. Сражаясь с Агандуаром, вы защищаете Шир. Да, это в этом мы ни капельки не сомневаемся. Так, орлы бы могли бы помочь.
At Fornost, one of the great eagles came to our aid. Perhaps the eagles could help with the ring.
I don't fault you for thinking along those lines. Why not beg a ride from an eagle, fly far out to the west, and drop the ring into the deepest part of the sea? Such ideas were debated at Elrond's council. But there are many things in the deep waters, and seas and lands may change. We cannot think of our time alone. We must destroy this thing forever.
Да уж, это точно. Гендальф в этом прям так четко уверен. Так, Агандор. Агандаур. Ну ладно, не суть.
This man, Agandaur. Have you
Agandaur.
ever had word of him before?
Well, I know nothing of Agandaur himself. I have seen his kind at other times in distant lands. He is likely a black Númenórean and a master of dark sorceries.
Угу. О, как колдовством владеет темным. Он очень опасен.
That would make him distant kin to the Dunedain. I thought they'd long ago faded into myth. It also means he's more dangerous than I thought.
Who can say what promises Sauron has made to him? Perhaps even a ring of his own. At the very least, Agandaur expects to rule all of the north. He would be a cruel tyrant. The elves he will seek to utterly destroy. Hobbits, men, dwarves, any that survive, will be enslaved. And he will raise an iron kingdom in the north, in mockery of the ancient glory of Arnor. This is his dark dream. It must never come to pass.
Да, действительно. Так, вот. Антийский мшаник. Куда нам нужно двигаться дальше?
When first we spoke, you said you recently passed through the Ettenmoors. Can you tell me more?
It is a rough and empty land, home to many trolls. I passed through with great haste, for I needed to reach Ривенделл as quickly as I could.
Так, секунду. Ага. И тролля не было?
And you saw no sign of trolls?
I saw neither trolls nor fresh signs of them, and that disturbs me more than encountering one. I doubt they've all packed up and left. Mindless brute creatures they may be, yet they can be used and driven to even greater wickedness by a strong enough hand. Agendaur could well be forming them into an army.
Войско из троллей?
You believe he is mustering the trolls for an attack?
That is my fear. I would gladly be proven wrong, but my heart misgives me that somewhere in the Ettenmoors you will find them gathering and being prepared for war. We must know. Such a force could be sent against Ривенделл, perhaps in hopes of capturing the ring.
Ой-ой-ой, если там действительно столько будет троллей... Так, мы это выясним.
Then I'll gather my friends and scout the moors. We'll learn the truth of the matter.
Да уж, действительно, слушайте, ну это жесть будет с троллями. Так, а где... О, у нас еще сколько, 2 персонажа. А где гном-то, помните? Так, ну здесь у нас Элеронд и наш Агдом. А где гном, про которого вот этот рассказывал эльф? В принципе, я не вижу, что куда-то еще можно больше бегать. Странно, гнома я не увидел. А может он и дальше будет? Так, ну ладно. Давайте разговаривать. Элеронд.
Greetings to you, Eradan. I am pleased to welcome you to my home. I had heard your name spoken with praise by Aragorn even before these recent events. You have more than proven the value of his judgment. The Dunedain are often our guests here in Imladris, but I would be pleased if you would consider this house as your home whenever you may have need of it. But I gather you are here for more than an exchange of pleasantries. Do you have questions for me?
Разумеется, у меня к тебе куча вопросов, только много не дают задать. Так, мы нашли этот свиток. А, это для задания, да? Опа, привет, Серега. Класс, ну-ка.
I found this scroll at Fornost. I thought it best to bring it to your attention.
A wise decision. This is writ in the black speech of Mordor, a language I will not utter here. It is intended to instruct the reader in the use of dark sorceries.
Здесь написаны рекомендации для черных магов. Это знание может пригодиться?
If there is power to be gained from this scroll, should we not make use of it ourselves?
Have a care, Dunedain. You tread on dangerous ground when you harbor such thoughts. This, like all works of the enemy, is altogether evil. Any who make use of this, even from a desire to do good, will only be corrupted by it. Surely the ring has taught us that much.
Да, уж действительно. Черное наречие.
What is the black speech?
A language devised by Sauron when he desired a single tongue to be spoken by all who serve him. He had small luck introducing it to the scattered tribes of orcs and trolls, but it is still used by his highest-ranking servants.
Так, и что нам с этим делать?
Then it is good that we captured this from the enemy before it could cause further harm. What will become of it?
I will destroy this scroll at the very least. But wait, here I discover more. Listen to what is written herein. Scribed by the hand of Agendaur, disciple of the great Lord Sauron, for the empowerment of his servant Wulfrun and those others of his faithful who prove worthy. I will speak no more of these blasphemies, but it does say that this scroll is one of 7 such works.
Wow, так. Так, только 7, не больше?
7 at the time of this writing. But could it be that Agendaur has created more since?
Perhaps, but creating something of this nature is not a matter of simple scribing. Considerable preparation and effort is involved. We have reason to hope there are no more than 7.
So 6 more remain. Perhaps we can capture them as well.
That would be a great service to our cause. Should you recover them all, bring them to me, and I will ensure they are destroyed.
Там еще были вопросы, зачем так быстро-то? Так, ну в принципе ясно, то есть свитки надо уничтожить. А я могу уничтожить их? Ну-ка.
Why not destroy any I find immediately? Burn them or tear them to shreds.
You will find that works of this sort are not so easily destroyed. There are strong wards placed upon them that protect them from mundane harm. But I have the necessary skill to remove these wards. Should you gather the remaining scrolls, bring them to me, and I will see them destroyed.
О как. Ну отлично, да, я это сделаю.
I will be certain to do so.
In the meantime, please accept this in appreciation for bringing this matter to my attention. Perhaps it will be of service to you in your travels.
Так, он нам что-то дал, там квест завершен. Тут интересно, в игре, когда завершается какой-то квест, геймпад вибрирует. Ну и звук издается. Так, вот еще одна находка. Ух ты.
There is something else. I found this tome hidden amid the ruins at Fornost. It appears to be quite old.
Ah, now this is writing of an altogether more wholesome sort. This was not made by any minion of Sauron, but rather by the men of Arthedain, likely before the fall of Fornost.
Угу. А вот и наше задание дополнительное. Так, когда это было?
Then it is old indeed, for Fornost was abandoned long ago.
It is more than 1,000 years since the Witch King of Angmar conquered Fornost and brought about the end of the Dunedain kingdom of Arthedain. What a grim day it was.
Так, Arthedain.
Tell me about this realm of Arthedain.
Arthedain was the last fragment of the great northern kingdom of Arnor. The heirs of Isildur ruled as kings of Arthedain until it too was destroyed by the enemy.
Интересно. Но род королей не пересекся?
Yet the line of kings has remained unbroken. This much I know well.
It is true Isildur's line has remained unbroken. But without a kingdom to rule, they have not claimed the title of king and have been known simply as chieftains of the Dunedain. It is our friend Aragorn who currently bears that title, although he will be the last to do so. Either he will become a king, or Isildur's line will come to an end with him.
Да, смотрите, здесь действительно и целая история. Так, вы можете прочесть эту книгу?
Perhaps this book is a record of those days long past. The pages are too worn and the writing too faded for me to make out much. Perhaps you can discover more.
Indeed. It seems to be a personal journal. And here is a name inscribed. M-A-L. Why, this appears to be a work of Malbeth, the seer of Arthedain.
Кто это был?
Malbeth? The name seems somewhat familiar.
Many of the Dunedain race are gifted with foresight, but none more than Malbeth. He predicted the final destruction of the kingdom of Arthedain, which befell exactly as he had foretold. I will examine this work carefully. Who knows what other visions are here recorded? It may be that we will find something of value to us in this time of trouble. You did well in bringing this to me. Take this in way of thanks.
О, он нам еще что-то дал. Так, вот геймпад он проиграл. Так, Интийский мшаник. Благодарю вас.
I'm happy to have been of service. Thank you and farewell.
Да погоди, там еще. Так, награда Тельронда, награда Тельронда. Отлично. Новая цель — завладеть колдовскими свитками Агандаура. Так, он нам дал кое-что. Задание наше все забрал. Отлично. Так, у нас тогда осталось Интийский мшаник. Свитков надо будет 6 еще найти. Завладеть колдовскими свитками Агандаура. Это свиток вы нашли у гоблина-колдуна в Форносте. Хотя язык вам не знаком, вы ясно ощущаете зло, исходящее от написанного. Может быть, стоит показать свиток кого-нибудь, ведущему в подобных делах. Так, 6 еще штук. Дальше. Камушки найти, показать находки искусному кузнецу. А вот насчет кузнеца, наверное, все-таки я доверюсь эльфу. Ну, не знаю. Просто такое предчувствие. Так, найти нужные ингредиенты. И все, да? Так, пока здесь все. Давайте еще с ним поговорим.
Greetings, my friend. What can I help you with?
Так, насчет похода на Интийский мшаник.
Is there anything more you can tell me about this mission to the Ettenmoors?
Only that the Ettenmoors are a dangerous place at the best of times. The danger will be that much greater if the orcs and trolls are being organized by an outside force. You and your friends will need to have your wits about you.
Да, действительно, поход не для слабых духом. Так, и что же нам делать?
And if we do find the enemy gathering in force, what then?
You will have to determine your best course of action. But when dealing with the foul folk, it is always wise to eliminate any strong leader you may find. For without someone who can enforce discipline, they will often fall to fighting amongst themselves. If the enemy is mustering in the Ettenmoors, try to recover any clues that may help us determine who is behind it and where they may be found.
Таинственный предводитель может находиться Да, ребят, чую, там у нас битва будет как надо. Так, что за могучий разум?
Who could raise such a muster?
Agendour would be my first guess, but it could also be a strong orc chieftain, or perhaps an unusually cunning troll. At worst, one or more of the Nazgul may have made their way there, if any of their mounts survived the flood we unleashed upon them.
О, ребят, значит, у нас, в общем, понятно, будут тролли, это которые здоровые на весь экран, и Назгулы, да? Так, ну ладно, мы приложим все усилия.
Whatever may be happening there, you will know of it. Farewell, Master Elrond.
Отлично, ну что ж, круто. И последний у нас остался там наверху поговорить. Ой, Илюха, привет. Ты хоть ссылочку на стрим сюда в ВК добавляй, когда анонсы делаешь. А в ВК у меня ссылочка всегда на анонсы стримов моих есть. А сюда это куда? Что-то я не понял. Так, как красиво, архитектурно все сделано. Класс. Так, что здесь? Какой-то меч, да, держит там? Ой, сломанный меч. Ну да. Эту штуку мы уже разговаривали. Так, и наш Арагорн. Что нам расскажет?
Eredan, I am glad of this chance to speak with you. I wish to tell you how proud I am of all you have accomplished. Halbarad has taught you well, and your acts of courage honor the memory of our brothers who fell at Sarn Ford. Knowing I have the loyalty of such men strengthens my resolve.
Укрепляет мою решимость. Так. Ну что ж, да, давайте с ним поговорим. Братство.
I would like to know more about those chosen to be part of your fellowship.
Who is it that interests you?
О, видели, тут сколько всего. Так, ну давайте слева начнем, направо. Леголас.
Tell me about the wood elf, Legolas.
It is fitting that we have a representative of the Eldar, the Elves, along with us on this venture. They have been foes of Sauron since before the ancestors of the Dunedain first returned to the shores of Middle-earth. Legolas is keen of eye and ear, and he is unmatched as a bowman. His arrows seldom miss their mark.
Да уж, действительно. Боромир.
What about this man of Gondor, the one called Boromir? If he hails from Gondor, then he is one of our long-sundered kin. But what else do you know of him?
Boromir is the son of Denethor, the steward of Gondor. I had never met him before Elrond's council, but long years ago, under another name, I served his grandfather Ecthelion. The men of Gondor are valiant and strong, and by all accounts Boromir is foremost among them in courage and skill at arms. I suspect we will have need of his sword before our quest is through.
Да уж, круто. Так, Гимли.
What can you tell me of the dwarf Gimli?
I have spent little time among dwarves, but Gimli is one of Durin's folk, and the dwarves of that line are trusted by Elrond, in spite of the differences that sometimes divide elves and dwarves. If Gimli is like most of his kin, he will prove loyal and stout-hearted, enduring in hardship and fierce in battle.
Да уж, действительно. Так, хоббиты.
What about these other hobbits? Is it wise to send so many of the little folk on this quest?
We are asking much of Frodo. Until recently, he had never set foot outside the confines of the Shire. It will be a comfort for him to have the familiar companionship of his friends and kin, in the face of so much that will be new and frightening. I have traveled with these hobbits, and they proved far more courageous and hardy than many would suspect.
Так, и Гэндальф.
What about Gandalf? What can you tell me of him?
To know all there is to know of Gandalf would require a lifetime study. There is much about him that remains a mystery, even to me. Yet he is a relentless foe of Sauron, and without his vigilance, the ring would already be in the hands of the enemy. His wisdom and leadership will be of great value to the Fellowship.
Да уж, действительно, не хватит жизни. Ну, дальше. Вот у него насчет Мшаника еще был вопросик, но он исчез. Так, мне нужно пойти с вами.
I feel I should accompany you on your quest. Let me go south with you.
The Ring-Bearer's companions have already been chosen, and I will not gainsay the wisdom of Elrond and Gandalf in this matter. I know it is hard for you to remain behind, but until now you have always dedicated yourself to protecting the people of the North. I would ask you to continue to do so, for the servants of the enemy are found in many places, not in Mordor alone.
Я в этом ни капельки не сомневался, что нас и не возьмут. Так, зачем мы это делаем?
There are times I wonder why we do it. We have little enough thanks from those we protect.
Need I answer that? You do it because you know it is right. The North would have known little peace but for us. What roads would any dare travel? What safety would there be in these lands if we had abandoned our self-appointed duty? And two, you do it because of your faith in my line, and in me. You and the others believe that I am the rightful king of the lost realm of Arnor, and it is the duty of a king to protect his subjects. I know it is in your heart, Eredan. You are one of the king's men, even if the king has no throne. Never believe that I am not grateful for such devotion. I will do all I can to justify your faith.
Да уж, действительно. Ну, кто бы сомневался, да, ребят, что игра пойдет, как говорится, своим путем. То есть мы пойдем, а фильм там и книга пойдет другим, в общем. Так, ладненько. Аган. Так, прежде чем это спросим, ты станешь королем?
You go now to claim your rightful place as the king of Gondor.
Above all, I go to help Frodo fulfill his quest. For unless the ring is destroyed, Gondor will soon fall. King or no king.
Действительно. Так, удачи.
Good luck to you.
Ну я так и думал, что диалог на этом завершится. Так, нет, еще пока не все. Еще не все.
Halbarad has taught you well, and your acts of courage honor the memory of our brothers who fell at Sarn Ford. Knowing I have the loyalty of such men strengthens my resolve.
Да уж. Так, вот, Агандуар меня интересует и Этинский мшаник.
I gather you had never heard of Agandaur before these recent events.
I had never heard nor dealt with Agandaur specifically, but I know his kind. Years ago I served in disguise in the armies of Gondor, where I contended with the corsairs of Umbar, who were often led by those akin to Agandaur. These black Númenóreans are a corrupt and wicked race. They worship Sauron as a god and seek the utter destruction of all who oppose him.
Да уж, действительно, целая книга. Так, Этинский мшаник.
You have traveled a great deal. Is there anything you can tell me of the Etten Wars?
Only that it is a dangerous and unforgiving place. My own grandfather Alador was slain by trolls in the Etten Wars. It is important we learn if the enemy is active in the moors, but we do not send you there lightly. Be on your guard at all times while you venture there.
Да, значит, там будет замес. Так, ну все, остальное мы все уже с ним поговорили. До свидания.
Until next we meet.
Так, прекрасно. Ну, получается, на этом все. Слушайте, ну сколько интересного мы здесь узнали. Ничего себе, целый час мы почти со всеми разговаривали. Да, обалдеть. Набрали несколько заданий, даже одно и выполнили с вами дополнительное. Так, есть еще одно. Изменить внешность. Да нет, спасибо. Да, вот я, скорее всего, доверюсь-ка я эльфу. Не уверен я насчет гнома, в общем, а вот эльфу я доверюсь. Давай тебе задание даю. Обломки оружия.
I have gathered a few artifacts of interest on my travels. I believe you might be able to help me with them.
Да, это мы уже общались. То есть пока мы будем путешествовать, но он нам и оружие создаст. Это, в принципе, круто. Так. Да, это мы уже с ним разговаривали. Так, пожалуй, я подожду. Да, пожалуйста. Так быстро? О, геймпад вибрировал, значит, задание мы завершили. Ничего себе. Так, благодарю. Вот это я не ожидал. Задание выполнено. Награду дали. Оружие с Древнего Запада. Ух ты ж. Так. Надеюсь, я не зря доверился эльфу. Я не вижу, где гном. Может, дальше где-то с ним там встретимся. Если что-то я пропустил, ну, я думаю, еще сюда вернемся. И в следующий раз, ну, в принципе, ничего такого вроде нет. Пойдемте собирать, в общем, на мшаник. Так, да, прежде чем пойдем, ребят, на мшаник, сейчас мы с вами откроем эти коробочки, поглядим, что в них и что нам дали интересного. Так, да, надавали нам кучу всего, и нам по-прежнему предстоит выбор. Взять то, то или то. Ну что ж, открываем. Награда от Эльронда. Ух ты ж. Так, эликсир стойкости. Зелье превосходства. Эликсир разящих стрел. Эликсир возмездия. Так, врагам атакующим персонажа возвращается 30% нанесенного ими урона. Так, а можно не открывать? Да, можно пока не открывать, оказывается. Я не знал. Так, насчет этого, ребят, я подумаю. Так, здесь у нас что? Кольцо звездного света и кольцо эльфийского. Так, смотрим, что это такое. Так, 4 ловкость, 5 здоровья, 1 отражение урона. Требуемый уровень 9. Требуется 20 воли, обалдеть. Да, неплохо. Неплохо. Так, а здесь что? 2 силы, 4 воли, 12 защита. Происхождение эльф. Требуемый уровень 9, требуется воля 18. Я даже не знаю. Ну да, как-то мы больше лучник, да, то есть нам бы ловкость, конечно, отражение урона неплохо. До 9 уровня требуется уровень 9 у нас есть, требуется воля 20. Пока, в общем, пока 20 воли нет, давайте открывать не будем, подумаем. Так, здесь у нас... О, замечательно. Так, меч Ангмира и посох Ангмира. Так. Воу. Ух ты ж. Так, одноручный меч. Отлично. Смотрите, насколько он крутой. 3 воля, 50 могущества, замедление износа 300%, 16 урон от огня. Вау. Так, а здесь у нас посох. Конечно, посох также очень крутой для ведуньи нашей, да. Но я думаю, меч, конечно, для нас будет покруче. Я угадал, друзья, да, я угадал. Так, ладно, насчет этого я подумаю. Ну, меч-то не, наверное, меч по-любому берем. Да, берем меч. Потому что там можно взять только то или то. Так, ну да, у нас, в принципе, и так был крутой меч на самом деле. Но 75, 114, ну этот вообще 134, 168. Класс. Эльфийский вот такой вот. Ну что ж, будем сейчас тащить. Да, без него бы, я думаю, было бы тяжеловато. Классно. Так, ну ладно, все, хватит сдохать-ахать. Ребят, на этом мы прервемся, кто смотрит записи. Продолжим уже в следующей серии. Вот такая вот получилась у нас серия знакомства у эльфов. Как там у нас? Ривенделл. Дальше мы с вами двинемся. Конечно, мне бы хотелось посмотреть вот эти дополнительные миссии. Но давайте-ка пойдем по сюжету. Я аж прям хочу олимпийский мшаник. Это прям круто. В следующей серии продолжим там. Ну а с Ривенделлом, я думаю, будем прощаться. Есть еще пару квестов, выполним уже в следующий раз. Надеюсь, что вам понравилось. Да, много читали, много смотрели, но узнали большую довольно-таки историю, да, особенно вот эти хитросплетения фильма и книги, насколько они двигаются там направо и налево. На этом все. Надеюсь, понравилось. Обязательно так ставьте лайки, ну или дизлайки, кому как. Ну, оставайтесь на канале. Скоро увидимся. Не забывайте про группу Английский ТВ. С вами был Андрей. Всем пока.